Welcome to week 2 of the Chris Hatcher Show, presented this week by Alabama Power. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course, each week we're joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday night, the Bulldogs traveled to Martin, Tennessee to take on former OVC rival UT Martin. Unfortunately, we come home with a 33-27 defeat. Coach, your initial thoughts on the game and how it all turned out?
Well, first of all, it's good to have you back. Old McAfee is a great one, but he's not like you, so we're glad to have you back on the show. And we had a not a really good week of practice last week. We were not focused, and it showed in the course of the ball game at UT Martin. We let a lot of external factors bother us. We didn't focus on what we needed to do. Offensively, I'll just be honest, we got whooped at the line of scrimmage, and it's hard to do anything when you're having trouble protecting and running the football. But our guys, we played hard. We didn't quit. We had a chance to win, even with all the mistakes we made there at the very end of the game and couldn't get it done. So I'm proud of them on that effort. But again, we got to play hard. We got to play with great focus, but we got to execute, and that we lacked execution the other night in that ball game.
Well, the game started well enough. Special teams and defense forced 5 turnovers in the first 16 minutes of the game, including 3 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. Through 2 games, Samford's tied for first in the SoCon with the turnover margin at +4. Coach, you got to be happy about that.
Well, I am. First 2 games we forced a lot of turnovers defensively. We're flying around, and I think we've done a great job of disguising some coverages and forcing the QB to make some errant throws. And then offensively, game 1 we took care of the ball. The other night we had two costly turnovers. One at the end of the half. That was really big. It could have been a 7-point swing right there, depending on if we went down and scored a touchdown. But at any time you can make a big play on special teams and then score a touchdown on defense, you're supposed to win the game. Offensively, we had opportunities there, but we jumped out to a 17-0 lead. But if you were at the game, it didn't feel like that. I give great credit to UT Martin, tremendous athletes. Their defensive line was unreal, one of the best that I hope that we'll face all season long. Quarterback was big and strong, and they had some really good running backs. But, we did jump out, but you could just sense it was more of them not executing than us playing really well at that time. And so we were very concerned as we moved into the second quarter.
Right. Well, defense gave up some yardage in the game, but some of that, as you mentioned, was due to that inability of the offense to sustain drives. And give a lot of credit to an athletic UT Martin team. But, Coach, it just seemed we just weren't able to find our rhythm offensively.
Well, we're a big tempo team, and we could never get in tempo. We had too many non-hustling penalties. And what I mean by that is just penalties where we let the external factors of the game control our play. And there was a couple drives where we got third and you couldn't even see the down marker in the screen. It was third and so long. You can't win when you're behind the change on the offensive side of the ball. So we really got to work on that, and we did this week. And I thought this week we have a much better mindset heading into our first conference game.
Well, uncharacteristic night for Liam Welch, 22 for 38, 217, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions. How does a game like this early in the season maybe help Liam as we enter conference play?
I don't know that, anytime you have an offensive production like that, you feel like it's going to help you. I think what happened the other night is Liam became a human being once again, and we had a tremendous pressure up the middle early in the game, and then we started getting from the edges. And being a former quarterback, when you're getting beat up like that, and you do have a little bit of time back there, you tend to rush it because you're waiting on them to get on you. And that happened to him a few times. So valuable lesson, do the best you can, sit in there. But the quarterback, he needs everybody else to play well in order for him to be successful. And I think the other night we did not have everybody playing well at the same time, enough times in order to be successful offensively.
Well, we talked about how we got, you said, whipped at the line of scrimmage there. Talk about the offensive line through 2 games, veteran unit, who I know left Martin, Tennessee frustrated the other night. What have you seen from the offensive line so far this season, in particular Saturday night?
Well, we've been very inconsistent up there, and so what we decided to do, we have to simplify some things, and bottom line is we just got to get lower, and we got to be meaner up there. And And I think that this week we went a long ways in the proper direction on that. But those guys, they don't get a lot of credit up there, but to have a tremendous offense, you got to be good up front. And we have the potential to be. It just needs to come together, and this week would be a great time for that to happen.
Well, the good news is the loss is out of conference, so all of our goals are still in front of us, including the SoCon championship. With that in mind, let's look ahead to our first conference matchup Saturday at Western Carolina. The Catamounts, coach, have had their struggles, but of course they hired a brand new coach, a guy that you're very familiar with. I'm sure you're seeing some things on film that are maybe some new wrinkles you don't normally see from the Catamounts with the new coaching staff in place.
They're a totally different team than they were in the spring. Got a brand new coaching staff all the way across the board, very familiar. Kerwin Bell, he's former coach at Valdosta State, won a national championship there. Justin Hines is the defensive coordinator who used to be the D-line coach here at Samford. Their defensive back coach, Larry Murphy, he played for me way back when. And then their special teams coordinator was started as a volunteer coach for me at Valdosta State long time ago. So there is a lot of familiarity. They're going to be wide open. They probably throw the ball more than we do. Defensively, they're very sound in what they do. And then you got to go on the road. They usually have one of the better atmospheres in our conference. Long bus ride. But again, it comes down to getting rid of the external factors and focusing on the task at hand. And hopefully, after what happened last week, we'll be able to do that a little better this week.
We'll hope so. Again, Samford football team will travel to Cullowhee, North Carolina to open Southern Conference play against Western Carolina Saturday. That kickoff is 1:30 Central Time. You can see the game, of course, on ESPN+. Thanks for tuning in this week to the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama Power. We look forward to seeing you again next week.